Hello everyone. Today I am here with the second chapter of class 11th History, Writing and City Life. In this chapter, first of all, we talk about the different name used for the same civilization. First of all, we talk about Mesopotamian civilization. The name Mesopotamia is derived from the Greek word meso meaning middle and potamo meaning river. Mesopotamia means the land between the Euphrates and Tigris river. Then Sumerian civilization. The first known language of Mesopotamia was Sumerian. That is why this civilization is otherwise called as Sumerian civilization. Then Babylonian civilization. After 2000 BC, when Babylon became an important city of this civilization, it is called as Babylonian civilization. Akkadian civilization. Around 2400 BC, when Akkadian speaking arrived and established their rule in southern part of Mesopotamia, it was called as Akkadian civilization. Assyrian civilization. When Assyrian speakers arrived and established their rule in southern part of Mesopotamia, it was called as Assyrian civilization. Before talking about Mesopotamia and its geography, let's talk about the features of Mesopotamian civilization. Mesopotamian civilization known for its prosperity, city life, voluminous and rich literature, its mathematics and astrology. Mesopotamians' writing system and literature spread to the eastern Mediterranean, northern Syria and Turkey. We study hundreds of Mesopotamian buildings, statues, ornaments, graves, tools, and seals as a source. There are thousands of written documents as well as to study Mesopotamian civilization. Now we discuss about the Mesopotamian and its geography. Mesopotamia is a land of diverse environment. In the northeast lie green, undulating plains, gradually rising to tree-covered mountains ranges with clear stream and wildflowers with enough rainfall to grow crops. In the north, there is a stretch of upland called a steppe, that means grasslands, where animal herding offers people a better livelihood than agriculture. After the winter rains, sheep and goat feed on the grasses and low shrubs that grow there. In the east, tributaries of the Tigris provide route of the communication into the mountains of Iran. The south is a desert, and this is where the first cities and writing emerged. This desert could be support cities because the river Euphrates and the Tigris, which rise in the northern mountain, carry load of silt. When they flood or when their water is let out on the field onto the fields, fertile it is deposited. Not only agriculture, Mesopotamians sheep and goat that grazed on the steppe, the northeastern plain and the mountain slope produce meat, milk and wool in abundance. Further, fish was available in rivers and date palm gave fruit in summer. Here you can see the map of Mesopotamia. Uh, Zone of agricultural productivity irrigation, that means irrigated southern limit of zone of rain fed agriculture and mountainous ranges. Now the significance of urbanism in Mesopotamia. Urban centers involved in various economic activities such as food production, trade, manufactures and services. City people thus cease to be self-sufficient and depend on the product or services of other people. There is continuous interaction among them. For instance, The carver of a stone seal required bronze tools that he himself cannot make, and colored stone for the seal that he does not know where to get. He depends on others for his need. The division of labor is a mark of urban life. There must be a social organization in cities. Fuel, metal, various stones, woods, etc. come from many different places for city manufacturers. Thus, organized trades, storage, deliveries of grain and other food items from the village to the city were controlled and supervised by the rulers. Movement of goods into cities and its communication. Okay, this chart will help you in understanding the movement of the good in the cities and communication. Mesopotamia was rich in food resources, but its mineral resources were very few. Most part of the south lacked stone for tools, seals and jewels, the wood for cart wheels or boat, and there was no metal for tools, vessels or ornament. So Mesopotamians could have traded their abundant textiles and agriculture produce for wood, copper, tin, silver, gold, shell and various stones from Turkey and Iran or across the Gulf. Regular exchange was possible only when there was a social organization to equip for an expedition and exchanges of goods. Besides craft, trade, and services, efficient transport is also important for urban development. To carry grains into cities, pack animals were used. The cheapest mode of transportation is over water. River boats or barges loaded with sacks of grains are propelled by the current of the river. The canals and natural channels of ancient Mesopotamia were in fact route of good transport between large and small settlement. So what was the reason why these people were using uh, water transport? Because it is very cheap as compared to the land transport. Like if they have to look after the animals also, while trade routes they have to feed them and they have to stay for one night at a at the route of trade. So all these things were not in the uh, water transport, or and the maintenance cost is very low. So these people prefer uh, water transports. Now the development of writing, how how these development of writing happen in Mesopotamia. All society have language in which spoken sound convey certain meanings. This is verbal communication. Writing too is verbal communication, but is in different way. The first Mesopotamian tablets were written around uh, 3200 BC, which continued picture like signs and numbers. These were about 5000 lists of oxen, fish, bread loaves, etc. List of goods that were brought into the distribution from the temple of Ur. Mesopotamian wrote on tablets of clay. A scribe would wet clay and pat it into a size he could hold comfortably in one hand. He could carefully smoothen its surface with the sharp end of a reed. He would press wedge shape, that means cuneiform, signs on to the smoothened surface while it was still moist. Once dried in the sun, the clay tablet would harden and tablet would be almost as indestructible as pottery. Once the surface dried, sign could not be pressed onto a tablet, so each transaction, however minor, required a separate writing table. By 2600 BC, the letter became cuneiform and the language was Sumerian. Writing was now used not only for keeping record but also for making dictionaries, giving legal validity to land transfer, narrating the deeds of kings, and announcing the changes a king had made in the customary law of the land. Sumerian, the earliest known language of Mesopotamia, was gradually replaced after 2400 BC by the Akkadian language. Cuneiform writing in the Akkadian language continued in the use until the 1st century CE. Here you can see the Sumerian and the Akkadian language, and you can see the wedge tips. Now the system of writing. In this picture, you can see the clay tablets also. Cuneiform sign did not represent a single consonant or vowel, but syllable. Thus, the sign that a Mesopotamian scribe had to learn ran into hundreds, and he had to be able to handle a wet tablet and get it written before it dried. So, writing was a skilled craft. More important, it was enormous intellectual achievement, conveying in visual form of sound of a system of sound or a particular language. Now, the literacy in Mesopotamia. Very few Mesopotamian could read and write. Not only there was hundred of signs to learn, but many of these were complex. For the most part, however, writing reflect the mode of speaking. The king and a very few could read and write. Official letter from a king could be written. That's all for today. Hope you like this presentation. Thank you.